Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Brick Games, and in this video we are going to be talking about FPS Boost. So almost all of the LEGO games from Xbox One just received Microsoft's new FPS Boost feature on Xbox Series X and S consoles. If you don't know, FPS stands for frames per second. Essentially, without getting into too much of the tech side of things, the higher the FPS, the smoother and more responsive the game will play. So originally, the early LEGO games were 60 FPS on console, so like the original LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, LEGO Star Wars 2, Indiana Jones, LEGO Batman 1, all of those were all 60 frames per second on console. However, starting with LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars in 2011, TT Games decided to make their LEGO games run at 30 FPS instead and focus more on graphics over the frame rate. So Microsoft has recently come out with a new feature called FPS Boost for their new Xbox Series X and S consoles. So this takes older Xbox One games and uses the power of the new consoles to increase the frame rate of those old games. Now this is all done by engineers at Microsoft. You will not see this feature on PlayStation, and TT Games really has nothing to do with this either. They only approved Microsoft to do it to their games, so this is really all on Microsoft, kind of going through these older games and enhancing them and increasing the frame rate on them. So at the time of this video, Microsoft has just FPS boosted 11 LEGO games. These games were all 30 FPS originally, but many of these games had their frame rate doubled to 60 FPS, and there's even some of them that have been quadrupled to 120 FPS on these consoles. Now most of the 120 FPS enhancements are just for the Series X, the more powerful version, but Series S did get a lot of enhancements here too. So in this video, I'm going to run down all 11 games, and I'll have footage of some of them here that you can watch in the background to kind of see the difference. The first one is LEGO Marvel Superheroes 1 from 2013. This was the first next-gen at the time Xbox One LEGO game and PS4 LEGO game. It was 30 FPS. It has been boosted to a whopping 120 FPS on the Series X. To my knowledge, YouTube does not support 120 FPS videos, so I can't actually show you the games running at that high of frame rate, so you'll just see it at 60. But this was originally 30 FPS, so it's ultra smooth, and it's crazy to think how this was quadrupled from the choppy 30 FPS. So next we have the LEGO Movie video game from 2014, quadruple boosted to 120 FPS on both Series X and S. This is the only 120 FPS LEGO game on Series S so far, but you know, there could be more in the future. LEGO The Hobbit from 2014 also quadruple boosted to 120 FPS. LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham from 2014 is now doubled to 60 frames per second. LEGO Jurassic World from 2015 is boosted to 60 FPS. LEGO Marvel's Avengers from early 2016 is another that's quadrupled to 120 FPS on Series X. Now here's a big one. LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I've had a ton of content here on the channel doing mini kit guides and walkthroughs for this game. It's a shame this wasn't available before, but it has now been boosted to 60 FPS. So I wish I kind of had that several months ago when I was doing my walkthrough and stuff. But yeah, the game looks great at 60 FPS. We have LEGO Worlds from 2017 is now 60 FPS on the Series X only. It is not boosted at all on the Series S for whatever reason. Could be a technical issue there. Maybe it's not powerful enough to get 60. I'm not totally sure. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 from 2017 is now 60 FPS on both consoles. That's one of the biggest LEGO games ever, so it's great to see that boosted from 30 FPS. LEGO Incredibles from 2018 has been doubled to 60 FPS, and lastly, the LEGO Movie 2 video game from 2019, which is currently the newest LEGO game out before Skywalker Saga. It has been boosted to 60 FPS both on Series X and Series S. So I never thought we would see these games running at 60 or even 120 FPS on console, but Microsoft has pulled it off here. Now there are still some LEGO games stuck at 30 FPS not getting the FPS Boost treatment. These are LEGO City Undercover, the LEGO Ninjago movie game, LEGO Dimensions, the LEGO Harry Potter Remaster Collection, and LEGO DC Supervillains are all not boosted. It's possible there's a technical issue with these games not getting FPS boosted, or they could simply be added later. It's kind of unclear right now. Microsoft is really just getting started with this FPS boost feature, like it just came out about a month ago, so there's definitely room for more LEGO titles to be added. So right now, Microsoft isn't doing the FPS boost on the older consoles like Xbox 360 and the original Xbox games yet that are backwards compatible. So those later Xbox 360 LEGO games that are stuck at 30 FPS, like LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, things like that, those games are still stuck at 30, so that's a little bit unfortunate. So there is room for Microsoft to enhance those as well down the line. But anyway, let me know what you think of these LEGO games getting FPS boosted from 30 to 60 and even 120 FPS in some of these games. If you're a non-Xbox LEGO gamer, does this kind of make you want to maybe get an Xbox Series console to get these enhancements? Yeah, this is just a really great feature, because for the longest time, these games were stuck at 30, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, clearly the Series X could run these way better, as we're seeing now, and with just the way the game is coded or whatever, it's always been stuck at 30, but with Microsoft's new FPS Boost feature, we have a way around that, which is pretty great. So I'm hoping all the rest of the Xbox One games get boosted, as well as those 360 games, and heck, maybe they could even go back to like Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, which is already 60. They could enhance that up to 120 and make it even smoother. So it's really cool. We also know Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, the upcoming big Lego game, that is confirmed to run at both 4K at 60 frames per second on the Series X, and most likely the PS5 as well, so that game's going to be 60. So it seems like the days of 30 FPS LEGO games might be over on console, which is pretty crazy, at least on the Xbox side of things. So that's pretty exciting. So this is a kind of a different video, a more technical video. So let me know if you're a fan of this, you want to see more Xbox coverage. I also had another older video covering the Series X back when it first came out. I showed a lot of the quick resume feature and why I think it's kind of the best console for LEGO games. And now with this new FPS Boost feature, it just kind of proves my point even more. Series X is the best console for LEGO games, no doubt. I don't think there's any argument for that now, with the quick resume, with all the backwards compatible games, with this new FPS boost. It's just ridiculous how much work has been put into these games. Also, let me know if you would like to see individual videos of some of these games as well. So I was kind of thinking of making a mini series on the channel that could release over the next several weeks, where we do a video about each of these games. So for example, we could have a LEGO Marvel Superheroes FPS Boost video where I kind of show what it looked like running back at 30 FPS before this new update, and then I could show what it looks like running now at 60 FPS, and you can kind of see the difference there. So I could go through each of those games and do like a dedicated video for each one, rather than this video, which is kind of like a quick overview of the whole new feature. So let me know what you think about that. Like this video if you found it informative or enjoyed it, and subscribe for more LEGO content like this, and I will see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.